Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 214 of Comic Timing in person. Casina!
I'm here.
In the flesh!
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
Face to face?
Yeah, I know. Face to face for the first time in, 2 years?
I think it's been 2 years. I didn't see you last year.
Yeah, because you were busy with a bunch of other holiday shit, and then once the summer happened, I was here, and you were running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Parental duties.
Exactly.
So that's why I said, all right, make it one day.
Mm-hmm.
One day, Ian Day.
Found one day to make it happen.
We are here.
Indeed.
This is Ian Day in my Christmas break.
In the Auburndale Park. What is it? Otherwise known as Comic Timing South Studios.
Yeah, Comic Timing South. I like that. Next year you gotta get ditched at Disney Springs so that we could go to Casina Studios.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The BK's Bullets headquarters.
That was a possibility for today, but half the household is dealing with various illnesses right now, none of which COVID related. Just pointing that out.
Next year you just gotta say, get up, throw some pants on, drop me off at Disney Springs. Brent will get me in an hour.
Oh hell yeah!
And we'll pick you up at 10. No, set up at 10 o'clock.
I love that movie theater at Disney Springs, by the way, at the AMC dine-in over there.
We go there occasionally.
Yeah.
I have not done the dine-in thing there yet.
I haven't done the dine-in thing yet either, but the screens are nice, the seats are nice. It's overall good experience.
Did you sit in the Dolby there?
We didn't do the Dolby because when we did it, it was just one of the smaller theaters in the back. Because we saw Theater Camp there last time we were here.
The Dolby Theater is stadium seating to the extreme.
Okay.
To where you have a full 4 feet in front of you before a massive drop off where the next if you look at that theater on the website, you're like, how is this a massive theater? There's so many less seats. It's because there's literally 4 feet between the bottom of your seat and the top of the next person.
Is it 2 floors, essentially?
It's 3 floors.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
It's weird.
So it's the setup of what an IMAX would be, kind of in
the IMAX way. At Point Orlando is regular stadium seating, back to back to back. This is weirder.
Okay. I think that, by the way, there's only one real IMAX I think left on the East Coast, and it's the one at Lincoln Center because they decided to close the one in the Franklin Institute.
This
in Philly.
one, there's 2 here. Yeah. The Point Orlando one on iDrive is a real IMAX. They show full frame.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's not 70 millimeter.
No, it's not
Oppenheimer.
It's not IMAX. It's an actual IMAX.
It's an actual IMAX.
Yeah.
So if Chris Nolan decides to shoot Batman Part 4, and it's all in 4:3, that's there.
Okay.
There, Oppenheimer was there. I didn't see it there. I saw it at the LiMAX by me.
Okay.
Which is just as good.
I saw it at 70 millimeter, not IMAX, even though it was in the Lincoln Center Theater. It's just the showings didn't work out for me, so I saw it at 70 millimeter on a regular screen, and it was freaking fantastic. And didn't have to pee once. Managed to hold my pee.
Incredible. I think I went once. I'm getting older, and it's bad.
Well, look. I mean, when you give us 3.5-hour movies, when you're used to the solid 2, you got to build in the pee break.
The
man.
best part about the Marvels was that it was an hour and not the best part. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
One of the best parts was that it was an hour and a half.
That is very true. It's
give me more of these.
Before you knew it, it was over. It was animated feature length, basically. It was the length of most of DC's animated movies.
See, those DC animated movies, I tend to fall asleep on because they're so cheaply animated that it's super slow, and I think that's also why I don't watch a lot of anime because they're animated on the cheap side, and I tend to fall asleep in the slower moments.
It depends on the anime. You know what? If you're seeing an anime movie, you're going to get high quality animation.
Right.
You're more likely to get the lesser quality. Let's get this crap out as fast as possible. If it's one of the shows.
Well, same rule applies. For these DC ones, it's we'll do this really cheaply and crank it out, and I'm falling asleep in the slow parts because only the mouths are moving or whatever.
I hope that 2-part Crisis on Infinite Earths is actually going to be good.
No, it's not. I have all the other ones. I've seen them all.
There's a few good ones in there.
That fucking Long Halloween 2-parter was awful.
Oh, that's a shame.
Awful.
That's a shame. I haven't gotten to that one. I like some of the Son of Batman stuff and the Teen Titans stuff was pretty good.
Okay, so you're gonna get schooled now. So
yes.
There's new universes.
School me in the middle of a park. School me.
When Comic Timing started back in the day, we had Superman Doomsday. That was the first one.
I very much remember. I saw that at San Diego Comic-Con. When it premiered, it was crap.
So. And that was fine. That was the original, onesie twosie weird. We're gonna try and then Superman.
Did not like
Public
that
Enemies
one at all.
Came out, aping the Ed McGuinness stuff.
I like that.
Pretty good.
I like that.
And then what was the first one that they had that was this universe?
Oh,
not McDuffie, Tucker, the Tuckerverse.
This universe started after Flashpoint.
Yes, Flashpoint.
Yeah, so it was the Doomsday War,
they
I
had
think?
Flashpoint Paradox was the first one, and
right.
then after that, if you could take those all the way through to Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War.
Uh-huh.
And they called it Dark because that was R-rated.
Right.
The first Dark movie was R-rated, so now that one was a good movie.
Was the Justice League Dark in it? Like Constantine and all those guys?
That one was everybody that they've had, the Titans, Blue Beetle, like all those guys in the animated universe since Flashpoint Paradox.
Got it.
That was the end of that universe.
Okay.
Then they started Superman, Man of Tomorrow, with Darren Criss as Superman. He's fine.
Right.
That does this really weird, thick line animation where like they're making it look more like a comic book, but the animation is definitely a downgrade from the Tucker stuff. So it's a different animation studio doing all these.
Does it look like old school like Flash animation basically?
Yeah, it's a little bit flatter. It's not as dynamic.
Got it.
So then they do the Long Halloween 2-parter. They do a Green Lantern John Stewart one that's okay. The Justice Society one, World War II, that was awful.
I've heard it's not anywhere near what people wanted it to be.
That was awful, and that's still one of my best performing videos on, because, well, not one of the best, but one of the ones that took off and stayed up was that one, because I put, like, terrible on the fucking... How do you... I put out a hateful video, and it got a lot of views.
How do you do a JSA book, a JSA movie...
It's all about Flash.
Exactly, and have it be all about Flash. Like, how could you do that?
My first complaint. So the Crisis 3-parter that is coming in 2024.
It's a 3-parter. I thought it was a 2-parter.
3 parts.
Okay.
Is the end of that short and shitty universe. Because I think it started in 2017.
Okay.
So you're looking at they did a lot less than they did when they pumped out the Tucker stuff.
Here's my thing, and
I'm talking about James Tucker, who executive produced all those movies and Justice League. If people don't know, you know, we're old.
No, that's fine.
I don't think we have any 25-year-old listeners or 21-year-old listeners.
You never know. You never know. I mean, especially this goes out on the CGS feed also, so, like, there could be the newcomers that have randomly found it on iTunes or whatever.
Thank you, CGS, for propping up comic timing.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I have nothing to do with that. I have everything to do with that. But, but no, I'm a little frustrated that, like, at least from the trailers and stuff, unless they're going to throw it in there afterwards, it's animation. You should be having all these other animation styles thrown in there. You should have, Batman from Batman the Animated Series. You should have the All-Star Superman, All-Star, Superman.
I doubt it. They're going to stick to one style. That's be expensive. That would be expensive.
That's messed up. It's messed up, and I don't like it.
You're lucky you're getting a 3-parter. Yeah. Which they'll repackage 2 years later as a massive movie.
I'm sure they will.
Long Halloween and Dark Knight Returns, they put them all together and, there's an extra special feature.
At least we know that in 4 years we'll have an 8-hour breakdown by the Crisis tapes, and, Peter and Murd will go ahead and break that down, just like they just broke down the Arrowverse Crisis, like, this year.
But they still haven't finished... Crisis? They haven't gotten to issue 12, right?
Well, yeah, they're at, like, what was it, like issue... I think they're halfway there, actually. They might be, like, issue 6 or something like that. It's only taken them 90 years. It's not bad.
I did enjoy the Arrowverse Crisis episodes. Those were fun.
Yeah, that was good time. That was good times.
And the commentary podcast recently, like those two. Those were
was that done...
The Crisis tapes.
The Crisis tapes. Sorry, I thought you meant an actual breakdown of the Arrowverse. I enjoyed it all. Oh, yeah, of course.
Still have not finished Flash Season 9.
Okay.
And I think I'm 2 seasons behind on Legend of Tomorrow, and I have not watched anything from the most recent season of Superman and Lois.
That I need to catch. That's the only one I actually want to catch up on, is Superman and Lois, because I was really enjoying that. But I'm still up to a season where their son was played by the previous actor.
Yes.
I have a lot to catch up on.
I've started the new season with the new son.
Okay.
Who's not the old son? Who is the old son? But you know what? Honestly, when before that thing came to HBO Max months ago, and they said, "Hey, we're getting a season 4, but we're cutting all the cast." Like they're cutting. I don't know if they're cutting Sarah, but they cut her mom. They cut her dad.
Yeah. She's apparently... Lana is going to show up in at least a couple of episodes, just not as a full-timer anymore.
Bullshit.
I know, I agree.
One of the better parts
Sam Lane.
That.
Sam Lane is being cut. He's only going to be in a few episodes. They cut Steele entirely, from what I'm aware of. Henry Irons is not going to be in it at all.
So I wonder if, like, at the end of the season, which I haven't watched it yet, if they're like, we're moving to Metropolis, if that's why. They're just going to cut all these people... And it's like, it just doesn't sound good. Like,
well,
just
Max.
might as well not have a show if you cut out. Let's have Friends with only 3 friends.
Well, yeah, that ain't gonna happen, and that's why there's never gonna be a Friends special reunion episode at this point.
Not anymore.
We're short a friend. With Superman on Max, the place to watch HBO. I stole that from the film cast, but it's still it's still hilarious every time I hear it.
And that wasn't in their marketing, like the home of HBO.
Exactly,
Max?
yeah, Max, the place to find HBO. Then why can't you just call it HBO Max? Come on.
I'm not looking forward to the next iteration of that, which will be Maxamount Plus. Maxamount Plus.
Well, they apparently Paramount turned them down. Because there was talks of there being a merger between HBO and Paramount. Paramount, which has now already gotten rid of Showtime, it's now Paramount Plus with Showtime.
Which I canceled their app because I was trying to add Showtime. There was something I wanted to watch on there, and for 3 months it wouldn't add it. And I was trying to click on. There's something with their app. I don't know. Like click on a Showtime show.
Yeah.
And my Apple subscription said I was paying for it, but it wasn't working. I emailed them.
Yeah.
Nobody ever got back because who cares? It's $11.
Well,
I canceled it, and I'll wait for them to unfuck themselves before I go back in.
I'm still frustrated that they got rid of Showtime anytime.
They shouldn't have. It shouldn't be an add-on.
No, it shouldn't.
One tier.
Exactly.
All the shows.
Yeah.
And I'll pay for ads or not ads.
Yeah.
That should be it.
I mean, soon enough, Max is going to be charging for their sports content separate. And I think the news might just still be included in there. Because, like, they added in CNN content, live feeds of that.
Who cares?
Yeah. I'm not watching any sports on Max right now, like, even though it's available. It's just not something that I've done.
The only thing I watch on... Well, no, I have the ESPN... I don't have ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
But my HOA has basic cable included in it.
Yes.
So I have a cable box.
Right.
Not forced. But it came with 2. So we used them.
Okay.
So I will be able to watch the Super Bowl this year. Oh, not over an antenna like I have the last couple of years. That's
good. I mean, I usually just watch it streaming.
But because of that, ESPN's there, so I use my cable login to log into that.
What network is it on this year anyway? I always lose track who has it.
It's always Fox.
No, it's a different network every year.
Oh, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, because it's usually either Fox, ABC, NBC, or CBS, because those are the networks that have it.
I don't know. I don't know who has it.
All right, well, whatever. Either way, it'll be on there somewhere, and neither of my teams are going to be in it, so I don't care. That's all that matters on that. You saw Aquaman.
I did?
Yes.
I did a 15-minute video review.
Yeah.
I'll shorten it here, but you can check out the BK's Bullets
clearly,
YouTube page.
Clearly the best movie in all of the DC universe.
So we have a Comic Timing Facebook chat.
Yes.
With the core 6.
Yeah.
6 or 7 of us.
7, I think.
7 with Chris.
Yeah. Brandon, Raph, Jamal, you, Dono,
yourself,
myself,
and Chris.
And did I say Chris already?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well then, 7. Okay.
With our core 7.
Yeah.
And
like the Justice League.
What
there you
Jamal
go.
said about, he made a comment, and I don't think anybody actually got it because nobody saw it yet. It's the crunch of a cockroach is how the DCU goes out, and legit, that is the last two shots out of the last 5 of the DCEU.
Oh my god!
Are the crunch of a cockroach?
Wow!
And they that was a moment at the end of. Basically, it's like Orm discovering the world for the first time at the end of this film.
A whole new
world. It's not giving away the plot. It's just this is the wrap up. And
he's so ornery. There's
a moment earlier where Aquaman, Jason Momoa playing himself as Aquaman, gives Orm a cockroach in a jungle. Is like, here, delicacy, and Orm's like, okay, cool. So then he's out exploring the world towards the end of the film, and they're talking about a cheeseburger. So he orders a cheeseburger and fries.
Right.
There's a cockroach that crawls on his picnic table like this one we're sitting at. He takes it, puts it in his cheeseburger, and eats it.
Oh.
And then they cut back to, Aquaman's ending credits, visual, Scooby-Doo, all that stuff. You know how the credits are all like CGI and make it interesting so you sit through at least half of them.
Right.
And then the end credit scene is back to that moment where he's just crunching and crunching and crunching.
Oh my god.
Cut to black, roll the credits no one wants to watch, and you leave. That's how the DCU goes out. You
know what? I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Really. Like, this has clearly been leading up to this moment here, because most of the movies have been Vermin. So it makes perfect sense that you end on Vermin. Like, it's gold, man. It's gold.
You know, would it be weird to say that I liked watching The Flash more than I liked watching this movie?
I mean, it's not weird to say, because, I mean,
It has Michael Keaton. I liked Sasha Calle.
While I did not enjoy the Flash movie overall, the Flash movie still had some decent moments to it.
The Flash movie overall. Like, to me, it was a low enjoyment.
Yeah.
Like, I always think of, like, everything's out of 5 stars for me.
Yeah.
So I would put a Flash as, like, it's a 3-star movie. It's not good. It's not great.
It's barely
like 4 and 5.
Barely 2.5 for me.
2.5 to 3. Like, there were more moments that I was like, oh, this is cool, but I think a lot of the marketing ruined everything for me.
Well,
you know, in that movie, so I feel like in 5 years' time, if you haven't seen The Flash, and you go back and watch it, you'll be like, oh, you know, if that person doesn't turn out to be a mass murderer or anything by then,
you never know.
You might be like, hey, that wasn't so bad.
Well, here's my thing. I've said this before, I will say it again. I wanted a Flash movie featuring The Flash and maybe some Flash villains, as opposed to a Justice League movie.
I think...
You know?
Here's the one thing the DCU with James Gunn has going for it.
Yeah.
Is that James Gunn hasn't written any comic books, and that there's no executive at DC right now that can push their comic books anymore.
Yes, that's true.
Because that's all Jeff Johns seemed to do. Aquaman movie? Hey, let's have the trench. Flash movie? Hey, here's Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah.
Oh no! God, what else was
DC
there?
got obsessed with Flashpoint in general, and that's why I'm kind of glad we're past that, because your first Flash movie should not be the one where he changes the world.
I'm a little concerned that Tom King's there, because Tom King, to me, can't write a superhero story with an ending to save his life.
That's your soapbox that you will stand on until the end of time.
I said superhero story. I didn't say regular story.
Yeah.
If it's like a noir thing, I think they all turn out really good.
I love Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
I did not like that. I thought it was not a Supergirl story.
That's
Barely
my
a
bag.
Supergirl story was my thumbnail. Strange Adventures, great until the last issue.
Yeah.
And I was like, you ruined it.
Yeah. Heroes in Crisis was not his fault.
Heroes in Crisis, I don't know.
That was not his fault.
I don't care. Batman run, totally his fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so that 85 issues, and then you tack on. Have you read his Batman Catwoman? The 12 issue
I
maxi
have
series?
not. I have not.
All right, have we talked about this on Comic Timing?
Probably, but it doesn't matter.
Last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think you talked about it a little bit.
There's
but
a
not
hardcover out there now.
Yeah.
You could go and read it.
Yes.
What if I told you that this Batman Catwoman story was in fact actually 3 Batman Catwoman stories?
I'm not surprised.
With the same artist. Mitch Gerads jumps in here and there, but unlike Strange Adventures, where they clearly
delineate
pick 2 artists, and you have Mitch Gerads doing the present time stuff, and who was the guy that did the past time stuff? He was awesome. Chris Strauss.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Strauss? No. It's Evan Shaner.
Evan Shaner. Evan Shaner, Chris Sprouse.
Same art style.
Somebody. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't Chris Samney. I've come around on him.
No, it was not Samney.
I've come around on Chris Samney.
I love Samney.
Batman Catwoman, 3 different time stories, all about an interaction with the Joker.
Yeah.
Again, after so many Joker stories he did in his 85-issue run.
Yeah.
Just introducing Batman's daughter, and Catwoman looks the same because you have Clayman, who doesn't age people very well. So young Catwoman versus present Catwoman versus future Catwoman. The only difference is
they all look the same.
They all look the same, except future Catwoman has a different haircut and gray.
Okay.
Because it's that much more in the future, and everything's kind of techno.
Right.
But past Catwoman and present Catwoman look the same, and there's panels on pages that jump around in between. I think I've gone on this rant before.
Probably.
But there's panels on different pages that jump between time periods.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing to delineate the costumes, because Batman's present costume isn't that much different than the original all gray and black costume.
Hard for Batman to look anything other than like Batman, unless you're going to give him the giant ass ears.
Exactly. So there's no delineation. So you're just reading it, and you're going. There's many moments where I was like, "Wait, is this a present or a past? Oh, that's a past. Oh, that's a present. Oh, okay, that's a future." It's just a mess. So I'm a little worried that Tom King will write a script in exactly the same way.
Well, he's not the only script writer, and that is probably a good idea. You know,
he's on their brain trust.
Yes, he's on the brain trust, sure. But you know, Bendis was on Marvel's brain trust, and Bendis no matter how much I love them, which I do at times, there's also times when I hate them when they're sitting around a table talking about their breakfast. You know, like that's.
See, I like those moments.
Yeah.
Everybody
Sometimes.
wants the X-Men baseball moments, but nobody likes the breakfast cereal moments. Come on.
Because when it's
in Avengers,
when it's starting off a book and then all of a sudden, boom, disaster. Like, I don't know, the delineation of it all never really worked for me. Like, he didn't set it up the way that I would have liked for the more quieter moments.
Get off my cornflakes, man!
Lucky Charms! They're after me, Lucky Charms!
But yeah, so I think that's what DCU has going for it. There's no Jeff Johns anymore.
Yeah.
He's not involved.
The Superman movie is going to show us a lot as to what we want to expect. I know you're not happy that they've announced, 87 characters for this thing.
That's my thing. It's too many characters.
Yeah.
It's too many.
I think
just give me the core 5. Superman.
Yeah.
Lois. Lex. Jimmy. Perry.
Yeah.
And give me a villain. Just fucking do it.
I feel as if...
But no, I got to get all those people, plus the Authority... plus the JSA, plus Amanda Waller.
As long as you still manage to have it be a grounded Superman story, but not grounded, like, going across the country, thanks, JMS, then I think we'll be fine. But if we try to overload it, like we have in the past with both Marvel and DC, then it's going to be a problem.
Peacemaker gives me hope.
Yes, absolutely.
Peacemaker I thought was actually great.
He's working on season 2 of that right now, actually.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually great, but I wonder if James Gunn can't do smaller groups.
I think he can.
Because you have Guardians, big group, well, 5 or 6, but still.
Yeah.
Add in everybody else.
Right.
With the guest stars, and it feels like it's 8 or 9 characters on screen constantly at the same time.
Peacemaker only had like 4 on screen for the most part.
4 or 5, but still, same dynamic.
Right.
And then you're going to have Superman now, who's going to have, jump into a new location.
But we also don't know that
If
yet.
Superman goes to Bialya and runs into Hawkman again, and then he runs into the Authority when he goes to DC. Is that what this movie's going to be? Superman encountering the DC universe?
I somehow do not think he's going to run into Hawkman. Just an idea that I'm throwing out there. I somehow think we're not going to be seeing that JSA anytime
Aldous Hodge was a good Hawkman. The JSA was the best part about that.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was a great JSA movie that happened to also be a Black Adam movie, which is yet another one of my problems right there.
If The Rock had acted unlike The Rock, you might have gotten a good Black Adam movie.
Listen, according to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that movie did gangbusters, was fantastic, I was great, and if anybody else says anything, then I will whip your candy ass. Those are words directly out of his mouth.
Okay.
About the movie.
All right,
okay?
Dwayne, sure.
Yeah.
And Rampage was a good film. Absolutely.
Can we talk about for a minute how we both like the Marvels for the most part. I
genuinely liked it. I went in with super low expectations.
Yeah.
Purely because I saw the first movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why it made $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I did not enjoy the first movie. I thought it was pretty lame.
Right.
On the level of Thor: The Dark World. So I don't know why it made $1 billion.
Do you think that that's why this one made 75 cents?
No, I think I talk about this in my long video review.
Yeah.
But honestly, my problem has been with Brie Larson as a personality.
Mm-hmm. Personality.
Her personality.
Yeah.
I don't seek out anything, but the couple times she does trickle into my internet universe.
Yeah.
It's always a little like, I'm better than you, or sometimes it's like, I'm a show off, or I'm a start a podcast in the COVID era at the end of it, and then it never goes anywhere. Opportunistic, maybe a little hard-headed on the cause de vivre she wants to go for, and everybody has their own. That's fine. I'm not picking on her causes or anything like that. It's not a political thing. It's just it's a wannabe kind of attitude, like a opportunistic wannabe, and then she doesn't feel relatable. So that was my I'm not really digging Brie Larson in general as a personality.
Which, mind you, Ms. Marvel is incredibly relatable. Yeah. I love every single part of that.
I think, and I said this on my video, I think Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, and Photon, Monica Rambeau made that movie enjoyable.
Yeah.
Ms. Marvel's family, and the first episode of Ms. Marvel's TV show, and the last episode should have just been it. Skip the 5 middle ones. Those are the best ones.
I think that one of the problems that I, more than anything, believe Okay, two things. One is that the story itself is small. Even though it's a space story, it is very much centered on these characters. You got to be familiar with these characters. I think they dropped the ball by having a lot of their backstory be on the Disney Plus shows, because people would have been like, well, if I haven't seen this, then like, why am I even bothering to go see this? Blah, blah, blah. Even though they actually do a really good job of setting things up in the story itself, similar to a comic book that exists after a previous comic book came out, just by saying, so how'd you get your powers? This is how I got my powers. Oh, okay.
See, they did do that, but I feel like that animated Kamala Khan-ness at the first 10 minutes of, I would have chopped that down to be like 2 minutes.
All right.
Or cut it out entirely and done it expositionally.
But here's the other reason.
It was cute.
Oh, yeah.
Super cute, but not how I wanted to start the Marvels.
Yeah. This movie needed an advertising campaign, which it was incapable of doing because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike.
I don't know if that stuff
I 100%
or didn't help.
Well, look at where we are right now when it comes to movies, and the bank that has been coming out for the past, like, I don't know, maybe about like this past 6-8 months. How a lot of these movies have been making about the same amount of money that Marvel's did. But for some of them, that's a good thing, because it means that they did better than their budget. For other movies, like Aquaman, I don't think it's going to make its budget, quite frankly. And it made about the same amount that the Marvels did in its first weekend.
Well, domestically, Aquaman, I saw a report, did like $170 million.
170 domestic?
No, not worldwide. Sorry.
Worldwide. Yeah,
worldwide.
yeah.
Did very well worldwide.
Yeah, it made about 40 here in the States, which is about what the Marvels made, which is about what Black Adam made, like that sort of stuff.
I still don't understand when people say, like, it didn't have a marketing campaign. I'm like, okay. You still had bus stop ads in New York City, I'm assuming.
Right.
But there's no bus stops here in Florida. So the most thing I saw out of all these things, other than there being no talk shows to go and promote them on,
which matters a lot more than you would think.
Apparently.
Even in the world of YouTube.
Apparently, I saw YouTube ads for all these movies constantly. So I don't really... And banner ads, and he had toys, and he still had all the print marketing, so I don't really know how much those talk shows add to it.
Also,
can you say that they add $60 million worth of advertising? I don't know.
They add at least a little bit, at least especially in the world of YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like you can take your quotes and throw them out there from the actors themselves, because they're looking for information from the actors.
Not the cutting. It's not the actual show.
Exactly.
It's the cutting up of the show.
Yeah, because
that's these clip recycled feeds.
We live in the world of ADHD when it comes to content. Most people are watching 5-minute videos on Instagram or TikTok, and then they move on to whatever's next. The other thing that may have played into it, at least partially, is the fact that the trailers, even though I enjoyed the intergalactic of it all, the great use of Beastie Boys, told you absolutely nothing about the plot of the damn movie.
I still don't know the name of the villain.
Yeah, thank you. Villain itself also was kind of Thor Dark World, like, very, very throwaway, like, we didn't get enough out of it, even though I wanted to know more about what happened on Hala than anything else.
I don't know the name of the character, I don't know the name of the actress, all I know is she is, in fact, married to Tom Holland.
Engaged.
Not Tom Holland.
Engaged. Hiddleston.
Hiddleston?
Yeah.
Tom H.
Tom Loki.
Can't they, like, pick a different Tom?
His name, Tom Loki, that's his name.
Tom Dalton, is that another actor, too?
I think so.
Is he on one of those British shows?
Yeah.
Sounds like a British name.
Sounds about right.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey with Tom Dalton.
I mean, every single actor in the Marvel Universe is actually secretly either British or New Zealand, whether you like it or not. Except for Brie Larson, actually. So go figure.
So, I don't know. I thought the Marvels was good, despite Brie Larson. And even then, I was looking for something out of her, and I felt like they are doing her a disservice because her Captain Marvel is so standoffish throughout both of those films.
Yeah.
It's like, no wonder people don't like her.
We needed more
as a personality, because the biggest movie she's been in, her character does not have a personality other than, let's call it bitchy.
We needed more. She was more grounded in the Marvels, I feel like, than she was in Captain Marvel. I think that we needed more of the Hala stuff. We needed more of the reason why this threat was happening in the first place, because they spent like 4 minutes on that.
I'm still astonished that they set the first movie in the 90s and then had her disappear for 20 years. And
I agree with that.
Still haven't explained it in the 2 opportunities that they did.
She was on vacation. That's plain and simple.
And to me, that goes back to that character of being just kind of a bitch in general, at least in MCU. Because, hey, here's a character. And she's so into herself and her personality or depression, whatever the fuck you want to call whatever she was doing for 20 years, that she never goes back to visit Monica Rambeau.
Not a good look.
Much less find out from Fury that the fucking Loki and the Chitauri invaded in Avengers 1 and be like, you know what? I should probably go back and check on Earth.
Well, look.
No. It's only
I know.
after the world's been destroyed with the snap that she's like, hey, I'll check in now, actually.
Maybe it's a good idea.
Finally, I should return home.
She just really is just bad at checking her messages, like, more than anything else, you know?
It's just bonkers. She's talking real time, space, light years away, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
To Nick Fury and Kamala's family as they're going up and down the Saber elevator of death.
That's the official name, by the way. Saber elevator of death.
She can talk in real time,
and
there's no delay.
The problem is that it's really hard to get an Uber out in space. So, she just kept looking for signal, couldn't find it. Plus, like, the charges, man. Like, the charge to get an Uber from the middle of, like, Zaldaron to Earth.
Talking about For All Mankind, there is no live communication still.
Oh, really?
Because it's still the real live communication delay.
Okay.
You had from the Earth to the Moon, I think was what, like 11-minute delay?
Yeah.
In their radio transmissions?
Most of our For All Mankind talk happened pre-mic, by the way. Before
we started. But in For All Mankind, you send back and forth video messages. That's how they get their mail. It's a video message.
Oh, okay.
So you may not find out, and I don't know what the real-time delay is. Maybe it's like 3 hours or something like that, but it's a long time.
Yeah, and because it's For All Mankind, they call it Skype instead of Zoom. It's got to be a different name for it.
Yeah, it's got something else. XNN is their CNN, or GNN.
So where are we, by the way, like, going into this upcoming year? The Marvel slate is like zero. Like we're only getting
Deadpool 3 at this point.
That's it. And the Spider-Man movies we don't care about.
Well, Madam Web.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Madam Web looks like it was made by a high schooler. Like,
I guarantee
that crap is bad.
The only shots of those girls in costume is the ones in the trailer.
Probably. And Ezekiel in his burlap sap Spider-Man costume.
Why is he wearing a costume at all? Like,
that's what I was saying. I brought that up on a comic talk recently with CGS. I'm like, there's no reason at all. Like, so you're gonna have somebody wearing a Spider-Man costume, but you haven't introduced Spider-Man.
They want it to be vaguely Spider-Man, so that you have this Spider-Man association for all those idiots who are gonna go see it.
God, the man looks like a bargain basement. He looks like he went to we have Spider-Man at home. Spider-Man at home. Like,
Sydney Sweeney is in a bad wig.
Wish.com Spider-Man. Okay,
they should just take the wig off Sydney Sweeney. Just let her natural hair. Just dye it.
Yeah,
come on.
They went to an Etsy store and they bought a bunch of costumes, and then they're like, "These are the costumes we're going to be wearing for this movie."
And we're going to light them, and we're going to dim them, and it's going to be flashback, and you're going to have blurred edges because it's going to be a vision of the future that Ezekiel's scared of. Ezekiel's a misogynist. He's scared of these 3 young girls getting spider powers.
No.
And he's the only one that has spider powers to his mind, so he doesn't want any females with spider powers.
I'm also a little
because female insects eat the male insects.
So that's why they call it Black Widows. Okay,
that's why.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Praying mantis, that's what happens.
So I'm a little disappointed.
The male impregnates the female praying mantis, then it gets eaten.
He's also wearing shoes. He's also wearing shoes, and that was one of the main things about Ezekiel is that he never wore shoes.
He never wore shoes, but when he's in costume, goddammit, he's wearing his sticky boots.
But so the reason outside of these crap ass movies, like, do you think it's a good thing that we're only getting like Deadpool 3 this upcoming year, and that we get a little bit of a breather, and maybe it'll reset things a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because have you watched What If Season 2? I have not.
I have watched the first episode of What If Season 2.
I'm fucking busy. Like, why are they putting this on?
Because they wanted to put out an episode a day for anybody who is at home minding their own business. First episode is actually a really good Blade Runner motif. Like,
great. I can't wait to watch them.
Yeah.
In spring break.
I mean,
probably not.
Disney Plus. You can watch them whenever you want.
I guess on my next airplane flight to Japan.
But they're also a half hour long, so you could just, if you're taking a really long crap, just go ahead and load it up on your phone. Before you know it, you're done with the episode.
I'm just saying, and then you got those you got those imprints on your legs from holding your phone that long. and you're getting old, and your blood doesn't flow as good as it used to, and your feet fall asleep, and then you're focused on making your foot up before you got to stand up to wipe your ass.
15 years of comic timing.
The last 5 minutes of the show where all the important stuff happens.
15 years of comic time. We go from talking about stuff on our laptops to talking about what we're going to do when we take a crap. That's the level of indecency that we've reached here.
Done, there's downsides to all this technology.
No, but I think I'm actually probably going to enjoy season 2 more than I enjoy season 1 of What If, to be honest with you. Like I think that this seems like it's more the type of What If that I like. But also Echo is coming soon, but that's kind of it. Like Daredevil technically is supposed to be coming out this upcoming year, but we haven't heard anything.
I was killing time before coming over here, and I was in a comic shop, and I saw the new saga of Maya Lopez Echo trade paperback.
Which comic shop?
Coliseum of Comics.
There you go.
And I was like, huh. And I was like, oh no, I've never really been interested in Echo, have I? So I was like thinking about it. I was like, no, it's got Joe Quesada art. Like this would slot in right between. Mm-hmm. I think there's the Kevin Smith run in the beginning of Bendis. Mm-hmm. But then I got to the back with all the David Mack artsy-fartsy shit, and I was like, no, I don't really want to read this at all.
I love David Mack, but also he's not very good at sequentials. I much prefer him when it's just standalone like covers or what have you, because yes, he does go a little bit too much in that level, but at the same time.
So I put it down and I was like, nope, still don't care enough about Echo to buy her consolidated story.
I mean, I'll be checking it out for the Daredevil and the Fisk of it all more than anything else.
I guess so, but they bounced Born Again. Like they just totally bounced that show.
Which might starting over. Which might be a good idea from what I've heard.
So whatever they're building to an Echo, I assume it doesn't matter.
Well,
they won't pick up on it at all.
As long as it at least like sort of rebounds off of it is really all they need.
I want to know why Marvel thought it was a good idea to have 3 years since 2020, right?
Yeah.
Of TV shows without showrunners.
That's a problem.
TV shows.
That's a problem.
And they were like, hey, we're going to make... And their main problem was all of these are 2.5-hour movies.
Yeah.
That should have just been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
And not 6 or 8 episodes of a TV show.
Well, they also technically went a bunch of years without real directors when you think about it, because like Feige was the guy who was pulling most of the strings behind the scenes.
Well, if that's the case, then the cracks have started to show.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
No, absolutely. I think it's a great idea to have a showrunner. Frankly, really should have been a good idea from the start.
They should have done it from the beginning and all this other stuff. It boggles my mind that they didn't have a clear direction on like, hey, this is how you make television now.
And that concept didn't even really come out until now, because we were under the assumption that there were showrunners, because there was a person who was at least the lead on WandaVision, was the lead on She-Hulk, but they were never actually, I guess, official showrunners. Like they didn't have like a day-to-day.
They weren't writers.
Yeah.
They weren't, or they were all maybe director writers, like the guy heading up Moon Knight. Mm-hmm. But was Moon Knight a knockout punch? No. It was okay.
I dug Moon Knight a lot more than a lot of other people did, quite frankly. It hit a lot of the buttons that I was looking for. But it might just be the Oscar Isaac of it all, for all I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Oscar Isaac. Still.
Yeah. What? He's not your bag?
I don't know. It just felt very gimmicky.
Okay.
Instead of finding the right actor, we found a star.
I mean, you just described half of Marvel. Like.
Also true. Which, going back to James Gunn, the fact that he cast David Cornsweat, relative unknown.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Cornsweat? Is that his name?
Cornsweat. Not corn and sweat, but it's pronounced kind of like that same.
This episode is now officially going to be called Cornsweat.
Corn and
you know.
sweat.
Okay.
Out here in Auburndale.
I hate when corn sweats. You know, like you want nice fresh corn without that corn sweat. I'm telling you, man. Like right there in the husk.
Raw, hard, just unedible.
Oh my god! But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for the future of Marvel in particular, especially with the Young Avengers being teased at the end of Marvels, and I'm a huge Young Avengers
Marvel's
guy.
got a Kang problem.
Do they though? Do they really? Because they can have a Doom problem very easily.
I think they have a Vision problem. They have a vision problem.
Where is he?
Has a vision problem.
No, he flew off at the end of WandaVision.
Well, yeah, he's all white.
That's true.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He shall never
be
seen again.
He'll be back.
Who knows?
He's probably going to show up in Agatha.
No, but really, I think it's hey, here's Phase 4. Mm-hmm. We're going to tell you a little bit about Phase 5. But we're mostly going to talk about TV shows. Uh-huh. And then we're going to tease you with the beginning of Phase 5 is Fantastic Four. And then we're going to tell you the end of Phase 6 is Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Yeah. Not laying out anything in between. Like, I would have been fine not knowing whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. Their biggest mistake was not having Fantastic Four start off Phase 4. I think that would have been the pure idea that they have a direction, because Fantastic Four is that franchise that everybody's the most aware of.
Their biggest mistake is not putting in the X-Men until after apparently Phase 6.
Well, yes. Even though we've been getting teases out the wazoo for shit.
I mean, the end of the Marvels was like, oh, there's a different fucking Beast voiced by the same actors.
Well, yeah. That looks a lot more like the 90s animated Beast, quite frankly, because they decided to not put Kelsey Grammer in a chair for,
the guy's like 8 hours. You know, do you blame him?
I don't blame him at all. Put him in a chair for like 3 minutes? Like, come on.
Can you at least say that 5 times so we can get your minimum out of you? You know, your
tossed salad and scrambled eggs right there, man. That's he's busy rebooting his own damn show.
Although I'm sure, you know, like how there's Apple has that thing. Oh, you don't have an Apple, but there's this thing now where you can like make your own voice recording, like a AI thing. Yeah, and it basically has you read like 15 sentences to get all the different phonetic sounds.
Uh-huh. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane.
All those years of Frasier, you know, he could have just said, program my voice.
Oh my God. I'm starting to get really annoyed with YouTube videos that I'm coming across where people are using AI voice to read their script rather than themselves. Perfect example. I came across like there's these videos that popped up on my feed for like, I created the best career mode in WWE 2K23. I click on one and hello and welcome to the channel. I am emotionless and I'm going to tell you about what I did.
They probably had ChatGPT write it for him and then speak it for him.
And yeah, because of the terms and phrases that they're using.
Because you watched an ad before it started, and then you clicked off. Meanwhile, my YouTube channel has me face on the channel, and people are still clicking off after 2 minutes. And you've
never, ever, ever used any sort of robotic voice to fill in the gaps.
No, that's why.
That's true.
That's why. That's why there's no background music. That's why there's no clips. That's why there's no anything. Because I follow these YouTube channels, and they're all complaining about, copyright this, copyright that. And that's why I'm like, well, I'm just going to be me on the video, and that's what you get. So
Casina be Casina, yo.
Don't have to worry about copyright things ever.
Casina be Casina.
Raw
That's
Casina.
It. That's it.
All it is.
Raw Casina. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Put it away. Put it away. What I'm wondering, I mean, you have to go Doom, right? You got to like where else are you going to go unless you're going to recast Kang, which you could very easily.
I think they should.
Next time, baby.
It's a shame. It's a shame. They could and they should.
I think
if you can recast Rhodey.
Yes.
In issue 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Because you had Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years, then Iron Man 2, and that was really the kickstart.
Like, wow, Rhodey, you look different. Yeah, I'm wearing a new suit. Oh, okay. How about that?
It's a Kang variant.
Yeah.
Because Loki already has a different looking variant. You know, it's not Tom Hiddleston in a wig. That's a different actress.
That's very true.
And you had the alligator. You know, that's different.
The classic Loki with the giant horns.
Was that Richard Curtis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You had the kid. You know, like it's not all de-aged or aged up Tom Hiddleston.
Right. Yeah. No, you can get away with that. You just never have to mention Jonathan Majors ever again. That's it. Like it's over, man. And it is such a damn shame too, because great actor, horrible human being.
Creed 3.
Yeah.
Creed 3. Cthulhu. What's that?
Cthulhu Good Time.
That show that he was on.
Lovecraft County.
Lovecraft Country.
No, County. It was County.
County? No, it was Country.
Was it really?
It was Country. They were going all over the country searching for a book.
Let me see.
Yes, it was Country.
Okay.
And you had Black Canary, Smollett.
You're right, it is Country.
Journey Smollett was in it?
Yes.
Who, unfortunately, her career died. Maybe it's that show. Maybe it's that show.
Maybe
it's that show.
But
although, Ruby on that show went on to go do Loki.
That's true.
She's been pretty good.
Oh, and I mean, hell, what's his face died of the drug overdose that was on that. The guy from Boardwalk Empire who was also in Lovecraft Country.
Michael K. Williams.
Yeah, Michael K. Williams.
He died.
Yeah.
The dad. The dad also died too.
Oh my god! All right.
Man, it is that show.
maybe that show is horribly cursed.
None of the white characters I've seen have actors. They haven't died, or they don't have careers either. At least that I've seen. So maybe
Well, that's a whole other story. But maybe we are better off with just pivoting to Doom though. Doom is a much more compelling character.
You got to put out a Fantastic Four movie first, though.
Or you just have him just show up, and then you do the Fantastic Four. Doom could already be established. He doesn't have to be established in a Fantastic Four.
I guess they could.
Yeah.
They could.
Wouldn't be the first. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they did something like that, but also, like, I feel like I'm tired of the villain being introduced in the movie, you know? Like,
so, you're okay. All the shit I've seen...
Yeah.
And this is all fake news because we haven't seen a real trailer or anything yet.
Yes.
But apparently...
Yes, apparently.
The FF movie takes place in the 60s.
That is...
In a different universe.
No.
And then they're going to jump here. Like, and that's what you want?
That's been a rumor that's been going around for forever, and yet it's always been unsubstantiated. Oh, here we go.
Damn, we thought we missed the train.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Okay, so, quickly, before the train comes.
Yeah.
Oh, here's behind you.
Yeah.
So you want Doom to show up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. You want Doom in the MCU, and you want Reed to come in and say, hey, Doom, how's it going? We've never met. Or we have met.
No. They have met.
Doom's gonna have an instant, like...
Oh, hold on. Yeah! Woo! Alright, good. At least it's not a super long one. Jesus. I was just watching a whole video on John Oliver from like 2 weeks ago. There was a whole video about how those type of trains are just getting longer and longer and longer.
Lost half your CGS listeners because this is my recorder, and I'm gonna not edit the train out.
Oh no! You are sending me this goddamn file, man.
I'll put it through the levelator. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah. It'll be fine. It'll level the train. That's really what we want.
Just as loud as our voices.
Oh my god! No,
the park is empty. It's a lot quieter.
I know. It's great because it's getting.
Now we can yell as loud as we want.
It's like 3:30. So I guess.
So you really want? This is what I don't understand. If you're gonna have Doom in the MCU, if you're just gonna put in Doom instead of Kang, fine. You're gonna have Reed come in from another universe, and all of a sudden there'll be a rivalry against alternate universe.
I'm not saying
Reed
that's what I want.
And current Doom. That's to me like
no. First off. To hell with them doing a alternate universe Fantastic Four that somehow winds up in our universe, okay?
Just saying.
All right? Like, that is not at all...
All reports have said that?
Yes, and all reports are 100% accurate when nothing has come out on casting, nor trailers, nor is the movie in production.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Snyderverse.
God.
All reports are accurate.
We are not...
Everything exists and never existed at the same time.
We are not bounding into comics, okay? We do not go off of unsubstantiated rumors like that shit. Come on.
I still would like them to do a miniseries of his whack-ass Justice League 2 and 3.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
That's what I want.
Oh
I just want a miniseries. Just put Justice League 2 and 3, those stupid storyboards, put them out there.
While we're at it, why don't we just do J.J. Abrams' version of Superman, where Lex Luthor was going to turn out to be from Krypton?
Black Label. Fucking put it out.
Oh my God.
They went back to the went back to the well with the Superman 89 and 78, and they both have new miniseries out.
Batman 89, Superman 78.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe is it 89, 90 now?
No, it's just Batman 89.
It's always 89?
It's always 89.
He's permanently in 1989.
Forever in 1989. It doesn't matter how many years it goes.
Celebrate New Year's Eve and get a kiss from the reporter or nothing?
Absolutely. No, Vicky Vale, keep those lips where you are, okay? Like, not happening. Not happening.
It's an eternal 12 months.
Yeah, exactly. Just a continuous loop. Like that's it. Yeah.
Fuck, where was I going?
Yeah, that we did the Superman and Batman. We went back to the well.
Yes.
Like
you're going back to the well. Let's go to the well of all the hateful Snyderverse fans and put out their little dream miniseries. You'll sell a whole bunch.
Oh my god, can we do Nick Cage Superman? Like, can we
put him out?
Yeah.
You got Black Label
and not have him be horrible CGI in a Flash movie.
Elseworlds. I think that would be fun.
I loved it. I loved Nick Cage's...
Kevin Smith did it with his Green Hornet take years ago.
I love Nick Cage's reaction to him being in the Flash. Like, first off, wasn't me. Second off, why wasn't it me?
I saw that.
I'm right here.
It's like,
I'm right here. All you had to do was ask, and I would have gladly done it.
I don't. He said he was on set for a day.
Yeah,
and did some staring stuff.
And
sounds like
they didn't do.
Maybe that's what he. Maybe they used his staring as what the Christopher Reeve character did.
Maybe, but also why?
I don't know. They needed a guy in a Superman suit to stand there, and they wanted to have.
Let's not use Nick Cage for Nick Cage's part, but let's use him for.
We won't build him a suit either, and then we'll make him look all CGI and rubbery for reasons.
Oh my god! All right, let's pivot to something a little bit more comic book related. The death of Comixology.
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, I mean, but I have to get you started or else there's no podcast.
Because it was my favorite app for the last 10 years
until
it quit on me.
It was my favorite app that I would log into using your account as well.
Exactly.
You know, like that's. For me, there's no reason to do this. I understand why they did it because even the interfaces were the same now between Kindle and Comixology.
So the death of Comixology did happen, in fact, this year.
Yes,
because they killed the separate app.
Yes.
So let's rewind. Let's give a history, quick history for comics for younger folks.
Yes, in the before times, in the long ago. Yeah,
Comixology. Was an app on your phone.
Yes.
No one owned it.
Comixology.com was an actual website you would go to.
And they only had older comics.
Yes.
They had old stuff. You could buy it. It was 99 cents.
Yeah.
$1.99.
Sure.
Then the New 52 launches, and they said, hey, we're going to go week to week.
Yeah.
New releases. New prices. Marvel joined them. And then the digital comics revolution happened. Everybody was scared that digital comics are going to kill the comic shops.
Marvel.com/redeem. Redeem your digital copy when you buy your physical
digital
copy.
Copies in the physical things, in the graphic novels. I got a lot of stuff that way.
As did I.
From the back of Barnes & Noble.
That was you!
Peeling the stickers.
You did that!
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
If you lived in Central Florida, that was me.
Yep.
And
maybe some other states.
And a lot of other people probably do the same thing. It's not that hard to do.
I'm sure Donovan has to fight that on a regular basis.
I don't think they do it anymore.
No, I don't.
Worry about it.
They still do the codes. They're just only in single issues, like rather than collections.
But now they're not on a same app. They're on Marvel Unlimited or something.
Yeah, which is also in itself a little bit weird that you don't need a Marvel Unlimited subscription to have Marvel comics to read now, because as long as you have redeemed your comics, you can read any of those comics.
So I've had a Comixology account since I started working, so almost 15 years.
Yeah, same here.
So I have a long library of stuff, and I'll never leave Comixology because it all lives there.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll never just boop out of existence. Hopefully Amazon.
Oh no. I don't think you have a chance of that. I mean, there have been some comic books that have left Comixology. That has happened in the past, like because licenses have lapsed or
but they
decided to split off.
So they had a stuff that's not on sale anymore still is in my library. Like the Invincible digital omnibus. I have 2 volumes of that go through like issue 65.
Yeah.
I have those. There was a Planetary digital omnibus that I bought that had the entire series that's still there on my account. It's not listed in the store or anything, you know.
I have a volume of Watchmen, which was part of a glitch on Amazon.
I still have that one.
Yep.
Still have that one. It's not listed as Watchmen. It's listed as some random shit.
Yep.
Still got that. So all that's hopefully still there. But when Amazon bought Comixology, I think it was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And they had the new app. And the best thing about the Comixology app, the old one, was the currently reading, downloaded, recently bought, and then the what's hot page.
And having a freaking storefront.
Separate from your library.
Yeah.
the storefront, I understand, like, doing away with that.
Well, but at the same time, it was a good way to see at least what came out this week, what the current deals were, all that jazz. Removing it from the app, I understand that you don't want to pay the Apple or the Android tax or whatever, and then, doing your own thing. But now there's not even a Comixology.com, so you have to go to Amazon in order to view everything, even the deals, which are even harder to find now, even though they still technically have them.
They're still there.
Yeah.
They're on there. What's harder to find now is the new releases of the Comixology Unlimited service, which I've still paid for.
Yeah, which is still a thing.
Because I still have books that I checked out years ago that I have not read. And since they're checked out in my 50 book library account, even though they're no longer offered as a checkable, they're still readable for me.
Let's just point that out once again, that Comixology Unlimited still exists, even though Comixology does not exist.
Yeah, it's like a...
How have they not merged that into Kindle Unlimited reading yet?
Some things on Comixology Unlimited are on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
Some of them are not.
Some are even on Kindle Prime. Like everything that's a quote-unquote Comixology original, I have access to just with my regular Amazon Prime account. Through Prime Reading, I can read all of that for free.
So I just need to read all of my Comixology Unlimited stuff before they do away with it, which probably won't happen.
It's not happening anytime soon, at least, because people are still paying for it.
Yeah.
It's still an add-on or whatever, but... I'm just disappointed that...
But that What's Hot page was the best thing about that.
Oh, yeah.
Only original app.
Yes.
And then when they got rid of that and made it the Kindle app again...
Yeah.
What, last year?
Yeah.
That's when Comixology died.
Oh, yeah. And can someone explain to me...
Because the Kindle app is way worse.
Yeah. Can someone explain to me why when I close a comic book, a smaller version of that comic is still visible on the homepage? Like, why?
It takes so long to open and close. This is what I don't understand. If it's the Kindle thing, why it takes so long to open and close a book of a comic on the Kindle experience, whether it's the integrated Kindle app I have now or the older Comixology app after they migrated to Kindle. That never made any sense to me. Like, okay, I get it, same software baseline, but like this is actively worse.
It doesn't make any sense to me, and I mean, unless their code bases were just that much different, it doesn't make any sense to me why they could not have just taken the code base of Comixology and integrated that into Kindle rather than being like, this is how Kindle makes comics work. We're going to use Kindle's version. Even though yours is much superior, we bought your technology, we're just not going to use it.
Working in simulation and software, I could say you will spend a lot more money to make a version of software updated or merged into whatever baseline you're maintaining rather than maintain it separately.
Right.
And that could have been it. Like, we have Amazon has X software programmers for their Kindle app. They want to keep them. They don't want to keep on the Comixology ones, even though they've had them for 10 years at that point.
Right.
They whittled down the Comixology staff. They cut the programmers, and they told their guys, hey, it's a short-term project. Import all this stuff. Make it work. And that's what we have. What we have, and it'll never probably get any better because it's not that big part of the store.
It's also probably going to get more and more people to pirate.
There's no pride anymore because there's in making that app better, making that experience better because nobody's invested.
Exactly.
And that's why that last version of the app
right.
was so good because people were investing. They had their own programmers invested in that. Anytime
you make it harder for people to find comics and then read your comic inside of the app. The fact that you now have to go to, if you want to go to Comixology.com, it'll redirect you to Amazon's comic book page, whatever, and then you got to buy your comics there, and then you open up your app and you go ahead and read it, whatever. Sorting through the actual list, because I've done it on both my account and yours, on Kindle, and seen, what it's like, and it's hard to sort through your collection.
So I've been looking at stuff of, what do I have, right? Yeah. So, and I bought it's even worse now because I bought my wife a Kindle for Christmas, and she's now reading books on here. So
because of the family account?
So she has the e-ink or whatever, and it's trying to load up comics on my massive 6,000 book collection on her Kindle. I'm like, let me just help you out.
Right.
Sort books only.
Right.
And, but no, so I searched, what was I searching? Oh, I was searching for Azrael the other day, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in my library here. We're looking at my phone here, folks. And it says search Kindle, not search library.
Right.
Well, if I go to sort by series, okay, cool. Now I can find that one series and say pull up that issue.
Oh, come on.
Right?
Yeah.
But I still got to go to alphabetical because this is the only library page we have, right?
That is ridiculous.
So now look at this. Search as real. Because this is what I was doing the other day. Let's unsort by series. Oh, it can't. Show more. Well, I can't, like, if I want to find one thing, it just throws everything in there.
You got to go through literally everything.
And you got to go through everything. Well, I have all 100 issues of that. And then at the bottom, it's got all this shit, regular books or stuff I haven't bought.
More results from Kindle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's hard to do that. Search back, search me a comic.
Captain Marvel.
Character. Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Which will probably throw up a bunch of shit. Because it's going to give you both Marvel and DC.
So Captain Marvel, I have a couple on my library. All right, cool. Yeah. So that's a little bit easier because that's all I have. I have 7 things.
Right.
But if I had a lot of Captain Marvel, I wanted to search for one issue. It still brings up all these things down here. It's searching the web, not your library. And even with your library, like I can't go. I want to look at that series because it's not there. I can't sort by series on the search tab.
So this is just proving to me even further that my investment in Marvel Unlimited and DC Infinite is well worth it at this point.
I think so.
Because, at least, but mind you, that's only Marvel and DC. So, like, if I want to read an Image comic, if I want to read a Dark Horse comic, IDW,
to go.
Yeah, and I'm not going to buy a trade every single time that I want to read something. My most recent trade buys, I still don't have room on the goddamn shelves for it. So I gotta go through them and get rid of some other stuff in order to make room for it. Because mind you, I have bought some good stuff recently.
And that's why I'm sticking with, unfortunately, Comixology and Kindle because my 10+ year library of all those companies is there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to jump between apps.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, that makes perfect sense. With Infinite though, the fact that Infinite's only a month behind now, like I'm actually somewhat recent on my DC reading for the first time in years.
Behind in general on a lot of my stuff, so it wouldn't be a bad.
Yeah, exactly. And that month is actually a set amount of weeks, so it's not even technically a full month. So like it's more like 4 weeks when it comes to 4 rolling weeks, like when it comes to like Teen Titans or what have you. So yeah, I'll go ahead and buy it. And if something is bi-weekly, that means you're getting it even faster.
What I didn't like about, and I guess my question is, in Marvel Unlimited and DC Infinite, there's no trades though, right? DC has an upgrade. DC have trades.
If you have the upgrade that has you be a month behind, you have trades.
Okay.
Trades are available. If you want to read Watchmen as a full trade, you can. There's also graphic novels available. So any of the Black stuff is there. Any of the graphic novels that have come out on that, young adult. They're not going to have trades for everything, but they do have a large amount of trades that are available for you.
Okay.
If you want to read Fables as trades, like for instance,
does the Marvel Unlimited have their omnibus stuff in there?
Marvel Unlimited, that's a good question. Marvel Unlimited is a little bit more behind on the trades.
Because I noticed on the Kindle store, Marvel started putting their omnibus editions as Kindle versions.
Let me see, actually.
So, like, I pre-ordered the Sigil omnibus from the CrossGen days, which came out today.
Okay.
And at least digitally. I think it came out last week. But I'm not into paying $100 for a giant-ass book that I can't hold.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But I will pay $35 for 56 issues of Sigil, which I've never read. But I did remember reading a bunch of cross-gen stuff, and I still have, like, the Vector Edge trades where it's, like, 1 issue of this, 2 issues of that kind of stuff. So I'm interested if they do more, like the Sojourn or, what was the Mark Wade one? The
crap.
Detective ripoff. That was good.
Ruse. Yeah, thank you.
Ruse is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll buy that stuff. I'm interested to read that.
I don't think they have actual full collections on Unlimited.
But that DC doesn't put their omnibus stuff on Kindle either, so it's kind of like...
Yeah, but there's a lot more... Again, there's a lot more collected available on the actual Infinite app. Whether or not that's going to follow suit and be available elsewhere as well, but...
And once Amazon took over, what I also noticed, too, is that they used to have sales where you would have trade paperbacks, or they would highlight a character, and they would. That's where it really was cool because they would highlight like a sales character like Star-Lord. You could get all issues of Star-Lord's appearances, key appearances or key issues, random stories for 99 cents each per issue. And sometimes you look at it and go, is it cheaper to buy the issues or is it cheaper to buy all these trades together?
Right.
And depending on the number, sometimes it was or wasn't. But now there's no longer that 99-cent issue sale of anything. It's only trade paperbacks. Their deals are only trade paperbacks on the Kindle Comixology store.
That's interesting. Yeah. Marvel's definitely further behind on that, and will continue to be further behind on that, at least on their own app.
So can you buy stuff on their own app and pay the Apple tax?
No, I don't think you can.
So they're only redeeming, or you're paying for Infinite.
Exactly. Yeah, those are the only two things that you can do on the Unlimited app. Like, for instance, if you were to buy a new comic on Kindle, I do not believe it populates over to Marvel Unlimited.
That's weird that they still put redeem codes in there to build a collection that you can't add to digitally.
That is,
other than buying more Marvel comics.
That is very
strange.
Backwards. Well, yeah, exactly. Because from what I'm aware, there is no way to redeem a comic book on Amazon itself, and I think they basically just took that feature out for all future things, which is why Marvel then decided to do it. The fact that we're even able to transfer your collection over to Marvel says there was a way to do it at one point.
Right.
It's just, I think the funnel was closed. You can't go from one to the other at this point. You got to choose. And if you're choosing Unlimited, you're going to have all your old stuff, and then you sign up for an Unlimited account.
I think remember, so Comixology also, when they were independent, even after Amazon bought them, they had their own storefront for your LCS if they set it up.
They did.
So DCBS had it set up.
That's no longer...
That's been gone.
Yeah, that's been gone for a while.
But I redeemed, at least $300 worth of stuff from DCBS.
Oh, yeah.
Through credits, because I was buying stuff digitally every week.
Yeah, they closed that, 5 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, that was a long time
ago.
Yeah,
it was a while back. Although some of the storefronts still existed, they just didn't give you any benefit anymore. You could still technically log into it, but you weren't getting any kickbacks to the company itself anymore.
I think you got 10 cents of DCBS credit for every, I don't know, not $1. It was probably $10 spent or something like that. Just shows you how many comics I bought.
Do you still buy anything from DCBS?
No.
Yeah, no. I didn't think so.
The last time I tried to buy stuff from In-Stock Trades, they canceled one item and then didn't want to ship it.
Okay.
It was all... I just ended up canceling the entire order.
Yeah, they've been a little bit less convenient since they became an actual distributor themselves.
Yeah.
Because Lunar does a lot of legwork, and it's honestly surprises me that DCBS is even still a thing.
Well, DCBS and In-Stock Trades still have not updated their websites since I was in college.
Oh, yeah.
They still look exactly the same.
Straight up 2006.
And I feel like if they updated their websites...
Well, no, DCBS...
in general...
You remember, DCBS updated their website one time. It was 2012.
It's still the blue and red.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But, the actual interface updated itself, one time. And I was like, oh, wow, it looks like we're finally getting some changes. And that was the one time it happened. In-Stock Trades legitimately looks like it could be a website from 1998.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why their stuff gets canceled, because there's probably not linked to their... They don't have a live inventory, I would bet.
There's
it's one person's job or two people's job to handle all those orders. And
exactly, yeah.
Stuff gets missed because it's intermingled with Lunar or DCBS, who the hell knows.
Yeah, and you can still make new orders on it, and there's some really, really good deals on both sites. It's just reliability more than anything else.
That was the thing, is I didn't... The last time I tried to order off them, it didn't feel like they weren't it didn't get shipped within 5 business days. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't care about... I didn't pay for expedited shipping, but, I expect at least a week from when I place my order to have something be your order's been shipped, where that's the other sites you do get that, so...
I'm surprised at how good... Oh, good, now we're getting planes. I'm surprised at how good some of the deals are on stuff like Barnes & Noble, even to this day. You'll get better deals sometimes from them than you do from Amazon or others.
If you wait long enough, the Amazon stuff starts coming down, and now
absolutely.
It's 35% off after the first 6 months and stuff.
Or if you pre-order soon enough, the same can be said. If you pre-order, say 6 months in advance. I remember I pre-ordered Saga on Amazon, and it was at least a 35% discount just straight up on there. Which was pretty good. Now I need to read myself volume 10 and 11 of Saga, get myself caught up, because now they're on break again, so it's going to be a little bit longer.
Take a lot of breaks. weeks.
That's the way that rolls. That's the way that happens. Oh, I got volume 1 of Do a Powerbomb, Daniel Warren Johnson's wrestling epic. Really, really good. And I think even though you're not a wrestling guy, you may even dig it because it's basically just like it's almost like a battle manga in the way that it's set up.
It's like Scott Pilgrim.
Kinda, but
the only thing I have to relate to
but with more heart. Basic story of the comic is this female wrestler is a wrestling champion, winds up dying in the ring. Her daughter, years later, wants to take on her legacy and become a wrestler, but nobody wants to touch her because her mother was this big shit.
Isn't every wrestler a fucking legacy nowadays, though?
Most of them
Seriously?
are. Yeah,
like,
most of them
story.
are. Exactly. Thank you, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But a necromancer finds this woman and is like, look, we're starting up an interdimensional wrestling league. Get yourself a tag team partner. We'll do this. And if you win the tournament, I'll bring your mother back to life. And that's the basic premise.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, and the best part is that everywhere else in the galaxy, wrestling's real. And they keep making the joke, like, yeah, people
wrestling is to the death.
Yeah, people keep making comments about how your wrestling on Earth isn't real. That can't possibly be true, can it? And they're like, we're fucked. And that's the basic idea of it behind it. But also, Daniel Warren Johnson's artwork is so damn good. And
I read Wonder Woman Dead Earth. It was phenomenal.
This is just as good as that, man.
Okay.
It's dynamite good.
Do a power bomb.
Yeah.
So it sounds like do a hard shot of liquor.
And he's doing Transformers now too. Daniel Warren Johnson.
I read the first issue of that. That was fun.
Yep. Yeah.
Energon. I don't know if I'm going to get into Transformers,
but Energon. It's the Energon universe, man. Come on. It's G.I. Joe and Transformers.
TMT comments with IDW apparently are okay, but I don't know if I'm not big of a TMT fan. TMNT.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what TNT?
TNT. Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Splinter.
It's been long enough now where they instead of dropping the teenage, they just dropped the ninja. That's all.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
No, they put out some good stuff on that. The Last Ronin stuff that they did for Ninja Turtles is supposed to be really good.
I haven't read any of that, so I don't know. My son's into. He liked the last movie, so he's all into that.
I love that movie. That movie is excellent.
I like the animation style. I don't think the movie is that great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story did not work for you?
It just was like, what are we doing? We're friends with this guy. Where's the action? Okay, now we're bad guys. All right, now I'm interested.
I am glad, though, that Into the Spider-Verse has definitely led to a revolution in the animated space.
It did.
Yeah.
Even though Across the Spider-Verse, not that great.
I disagree with you
entirely.
entirely.
Not that great.
Disagree.
Too long.
Disagree with you entirely, and congratulations, you're the one person in the world who has actually made that comment.
I'm going to loop back to the beginning of the episode and say, hour and a half, animated movie.
No.
Give it to me. If you want to make it a two-parter, it's a 2.5 hour animated movie with long slogs of the paint stuff, which was some of the most compelling animation I've ever seen, but still.
2.5 hour long.
At the end of the film, it felt like the ending of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
I barely even recognized that it was as long as it was while I was watching it, quite frankly. That's how engaged I was in the entire thing.
I don't think I realized it until they sent him back to the universe.
Yeah.
And you had all these jump cuts, and I'm like, okay, I know it. I figured it out immediately. Like, immediately when they were at Miles' home and she's talking to Spider-Gwen's talking to the mom. I was like, oh, he's in the wrong universe. Okay, cool. But no, they had to drag it out for another 15 minutes. Another 15 minutes, Ian. Before they're like, oh my god, that's your uncle. He's still alive. Who's the guy in the mask? I'm like, come on, guys.
That's
never
called
fucking read a
compelling storytelling, man.
Nope.
Compelling storytelling. And at the same time, I even though I remembered reading that it was going to be, a two-parter, I had completely forgotten that when I was watching it. So when we came to the To Be Continued,
you had me at Canon Event and adding that little layer into the multiverse, stuff. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But you lost me when you Return of the King ending your cliffhanger.
I appreciate that you like to take stances and opinions that completely deviate from every other human being, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm just glad to know that you're wrong.
You know, somewhere out there, somebody's going, you know what? Maybe Brent's a little bit right.
No, I'm sure there's at least one person out there that's like, you know what?
I hope there's a shirt with my face on it 5 years from now that says,
Brent was right.
A little bit right.
Brent was kind of right this one time about that one thing. I forget what it was.
Put my graying hair on your belly and we'll call it a day.
I forget what that one thing was. I'll remember eventually. Wwhy am I wearing this shirt?
Kind of, sort of, one thing, a little bit.
That's exactly the case.
Kinda,
that's exactly this. Oh my god. What have you been reading lately? Otherwise,
trying to read stuff for the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Rereading Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ooh.
And I say rereading loosely, I guess, because I remember in the early 2000s they had a lot of that stuff on digital.
Yes, they did.
On the web. And I read a lot of Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Spider-Man there.
Digital for free, if I remember correctly.
For free, because I read Ultimate Daredevil Elektra.
Yep.
I read all the Nuff Said stuff, the Greg Rucka Elektra run.
Yes.
I read on there. There was a bunch of stuff. I wish there was like a record of all the stuff that they put on there.
There were even some, I think, online exclusive Ultimate Spider-Man comics that came out, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
Similar to like the way that Wizard used to do like their one-halves.
Yeah, maybe. But so I remember reading, I think through Carnage or something like that, and then it dropped off. Like I didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I read the David. At Miles Morales, I read after that, and I read bits and pieces of that in sitting in Barnes & Noble when they still had chairs, big comfy chairs, and real comic book sections that weren't overtaken by manga.
Manga.
Shows how long...
Manga, he says.
Manga. So I'm reading stuff that's I haven't read ever, and haven't read in the last 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So that's been fun.
You're still on Peter Parker, or have you gotten the Miles?
Peter Parker. I'm on I just finished volume 4, the Venom arc.
You got to check out that new.
No, not volume. Volume 4 is when Green Goblin comes back.
Got it. You got to check out that new Ultimate Spider-Man by Hickman.
I will check it out.
Yeah,
we will see.
I like the idea of him getting bitten after he already has like a family, and it's just a completely different take on it. You know,
we will see.
It's a nice change of pace.
We will see if Hickman is going to Hickman the way that Tom King's.
Hey, so far so good, because I actually dug Ultimate Invasion and that first Ultimate Universe comic.
I read that too, and I think it was a little neither here nor there in terms of plot and story.
Yeah,
a lot of setup.
I like the Maker stuff. I like what he managed to throw up, and I like the idea that the universe is different because the Maker has screwed with it so much, and now they're basically beginning to recover.
I like that.
Yeah.
I loved Hickman's Avengers.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy Hickman's Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Because it felt like
too much. Not
too much. Didn't feel like there was an arc, or the arc ended early. Like all the Doom stuff ended. I read the Ultimate collections, like 2/3 of the way of the run.
Yeah.
Your arc was over, and then the last third is like some random bullshit. And I was like, well, this is silly. Like, why is he still in the book? The story's over.
Yeah.
So I think that was the thing that turned me off the most about it. And even still, it felt like there was a lot of separate elements that only really came together at the end. Whereas, like, the nice part about his Avengers run is that it was clearly two different things.
Yeah.
And then by the time issue 25 happened, it was like, no, it's the same thing. Things started to affect each other. Then the last 12 issues are those guys hopping back and forth. You had to buy both books.
Also bringing in Starbrand and like all those other concepts and stuff like that.
And there was definitely a vision for that one. So hopefully there's a vision for that. Although we only know there's Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther,
and Ultimate X-Men.
Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko, which
I cannot wait for that. Shock of shocks.
I looked at the preview and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to wait on this one.
I can't wait. I'm picking that shit up immediately, and I'm going to enjoy it.
One thing I have been reading that pissed me off.
Oh, good. If there's one thing that I love.
Well, so I'm going to praise and talk negative about the story.
You know what grinds my gears?
Too fast of an ending. firepower.
Too furious of an ending.
There's one issue left.
Yes.
Too fast of an ending.
So, do you think it was originally going to be the ending, or did they just run out of time to do the book?
I feel like somebody else got a different job. I think it's Samney.
I think it is Samney. Yeah.
Because this was on the group chat a little bit.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Oh, he's going back to films, doing storyboards because it makes more money." Okay, cool. I respect that. Yeah. However, this is comic books. You can take as long as you want if you wanted to.
Semicolon, but ...
So it started out with the prequel OGN, which I loved. I've been reading the series, buying every issue on Comixology, Kindle, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they've been building up. They had a big battle at the end of the 15th issue, and they've been dealing with the aftermath of that big battle and like building up to the next big battle.
Yep.
Issue number 27 comes out, and it's like it's letters to Grandpa from one of the kids. But the thing that was cool and uncool about it was that the letters to Grandpa was 20 pages. Each page was a different letter with different art on it or a different battle.
Yeah.
So you took what could have been a 25-volume manga and shoved it into one 25-issue story.
Okay.
In terms of like big battle, big event, big battle, big event. We did this, then we went here, then we went here. It was highlights.
Yeah.
It was a highlight reel of probably a year or 6 months of their life. What could have been another 50 issues.
Right.
And put it in one issue, and then only to get to the next issue, and then for them to have their almost final battle in that issue.
It was a lot.
It was like
a lot and not enough at the same time.
It was a lot, and then you read like, oh yeah, and we're ending, and then that's I think when they dropped the bomb that they're going to end in 3 issues, or like just before. So you're like, wait, you mean if you guys had just picked a different artist to continue the story, we could have had all this goodness?
Although this is exactly how Kirkman likes to do it. Kirkman doesn't usually like telling people he's ending his books.
Well, he did tell us, and that's where I think my complaint is.
Okay. So you would have rather just gotten to issue 30 and gotten the end, and then
I could have said, you know what, I should have seen this coming in issue 27.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
But I really was excited by that issue. I thought the conceit was cool, of like letters to Grandpa, the highlight reel.
Yeah.
And then when I realized, like, oh man, this could have been 2 more years of comic books at least.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh shit.
Oh man, have you read any of the World's Finest Elseworld stuff yet? Like the Kingdom Come stuff?
I think I read 2 issues of that.
Okay.
I'm reading the Shazam, Dan Mora, Mark Waid.
Love it.
That's awesome.
That's really good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Waid and Mora, I think, is one of my favorite teams in comics right now. I
mean, Dan Mora was knocking it out of the park on Once and Future with Kieran Gillen. Everybody should go read that. That was good.
I have Volume 1 still sitting, waiting to be read.
See, that was, I think it was 30 or 35 issues.
Yeah.
First arc's phenomenal, fantastic. Second arc, then you're like, okay, well, the big pitch was like the first arc.
Yeah.
Second arc, they're like, all right, we got to find a way to, I don't know, do something a little different and expand the universe. Okay, cool. So there's some growing pains there.
Sure.
And then by the end of the series, it was kind of like there's so many characters, so many different knights, and I got kind of like confused as to which knight was what. Because you start dealing with different versions of stories.
Right.
So you have different versions of Arthur and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So it gets a little confusing at the end for me. But I loved just finding him on that and being like, wow, he's phenomenal, and then seeing him start to do more stuff. And now everybody's a Dan Mora file, and I'm like, I was on to Dan Mora before you ever were.
In my day. Yeah.
One guy who has not broken through, poor guy, Andre Bresson.
Sounds familiar.
He did, I don't know if Dark Ride is still coming out. He's with Tynan? Is it Tynan? No, I don't think it's Tynan. It's Birthright. With Jason... The guy writing Superman right now.
Yes.
Williamson. Joshua Williamson.
Yeah. Williamson,
He did Birthright. That's phenomenal. He's got a very different style. And then when Josh Williamson started doing stuff with DC, they did he did a lot of Justice League Incarnate, I think.
Okay.
And it just... Him and the superheroes didn't click. Because he's like Chris Burnham. He looks like Chris Burnham.
Okay.
Whereas Chris Burnham worked when he was with Grant Morrison.
Right.
But if you put Chris Burnham on a Justice League book with Bendis, it's not going to work.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at Bresson's stuff, and yeah, it's a very stylized style.
Yeah. So I think he needs to find a weird book to take off with, like maybe on Constantine or like I don't know, Justice League Dark or something weird. Oh, you know, the Demon.
Maybe Morrison's looking for the
next unsuccessful Doom Patrol relaunch. You know, he could do that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. He did work on at least some of the like alternate universe stuff.
It's interesting, but it's not like or he didn't get enough. I think he did a couple pages here and there, or an issue here and there. He wasn't like the main build artist of any of those series that they brought him onto. So I think that was the hang up. Okay. For me, that was like, he never really got a chance to like figure everything out or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunately life as an artist. You know, it takes that one book to like elevate you into the stratosphere, and then you have an option from there. You either continue to work for one of the big companies,
or you become Clayton Crane,
who
goes to cons and just signs stuff in different colored markers, and puts like all the markers on his fingers and. Like, literally, at MegaCon this year, I was watching him for a little bit. I'm not paying for that shit. It's ridiculous. He charges... It is insane. Yeah. Next time he's at New York Comic-Con, go by his booth. I'm sure he will be there. Okay. He charges for a signature. He charges for one color. Different price for two color. You want all the colors of the rainbow? Yeah. Even, times 5.
Does he charge for a high five? Like,
and then you want a remark with all these different colors. Now you're talking about a 40-minute long signature because he's got to put white out on your cover first, and then to put something else on, and then on, and then on, and then on, and they're all immaculately beautiful. Yeah. But I'm like, I know you're making money hand over fist because all these collectors are paying for your silly, colorful signature. But goddamn, if you had just keep drawing something.
What's the?
I don't know. I'm sure the signature game is more lucrative because he does the exclusive covers and shit.
What's the name of the guy who used to do all those zombie covers?
Arthur Soydam.
Yeah.
He's still, the best thing about Arthur Soydam, he's at MegaCon the last two years.
What he used to Photoshop pictures to make it look like he had longer lines.
Well, I don't know about that, but the last 2 times I walked by his table at least the last 2 years in a row, he's telling people like he's the guy behind Marvel Zombies or whatever, or that he actually had something to do with it. Yeah, it's like, I remember that book coming out. You were the fucking cover dude.
Yeah, I mean,
you weren't on the interior.
They were great covers.
They were great covers.
That's all you had to do with it, buddy. But that's it.
Yeah, he's like the artist of Marvel Zombies according to his booth.
Yeah, but no. The man couldn't do sequentials like if its life depended on it because he's not fast enough to do that.
It's funny that he's like, if you ever wanted an Arthur Soydam signature 10 years ago, you would have had to wait in line forever.
Now you just go.
If you wanted it now, you could get it right away.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
just like you'd be the only person at his table.
And he would sign other books that he didn't do. Just because he was bored.
He would take your deceased copy out of your hands and sign it and think like he had something to do with it.
Oh yeah. Have you seen any what was it?
Rebel Moon?
No. Oh dear Lord.
Not watching. I might watch it at some point.
No, I was thinking the Boys spinoff.
Gen V.
Yeah, Gen V.
Gen V's phenomenal.
Gen V was really good.
Gen V was really good.
Gen V was enjoyable.
I can't wait for the Boys to come back. My wife doesn't want to watch any other show other than that. She watched Gen V with me, but I'm like, hey, we liked Reacher. Let's watch Reacher Season 2. And she's like,
Well, most of my life is either detective shows, crime docuseries, or that's about it.
I need a crime show with some romance thrown in to get my wife interested. I think because Reacher is a crime show, but she's not that interested.
You mean it's out of her Reacher?
I mean, he literally took his shirt off, I think, in the first preview for the first season, so she was in, and there was none such in the second season trailer.
I appreciate that there's a very specific bar for her,
There is.
Yeah,
she saw
that's about
Aquaman
it.
With me, and you know what her complaint was? He didn't shake his shirt off once. And I'm like, Orm did? Did you see that glow up that Orm had? She's like,
oh my God.
That was a body double. I'm like, you know what? You might be right.
I heard an interview with Mr. Momoa recently where he was talking about when he was given the role of Aquaman, and he went in thinking, I think he actually auditioned for Batman.
This is what Donovan sent today?
Yeah.
I watched that.
Yeah, he auditioned for Batman just to audition for Batman. And when they came back to him saying, well, you didn't get Batman, like, shock of shocks, but we have something for you, immediately he thought, Lobo?
He's the only one going to an audition for Batman and be like, but we have something for you. He's the only actor that's like, ooh, Lobo. Well, nobody else.
The man looks like Lobo.
Nobody else would have been doing that.
He already looks like Lobo. It's not exactly a stretch, Like, it would be like Seth Green. The fact that Seth Green is Howard the Duck, he could have played him in live action if he wanted to. Man already looks like Howard the Duck.
If we get Jason Momoa Lobo, are they going to paint him white?
Maybe. It's possible.
Are they just going to leave?
Or, hear me out, they don't. And I'm okay with that.
I'm just asking.
I don't know.
If the guy loves Lobo so much, is he going to insist on being painted white?
Maybe. Oh, is he white or is he more of a silver? I always felt like it was more of a silver.
Whatever. Any sort of white-ish looking paint.
Whoever's going to play Silver Surfer, will he be painted silver or will they CGI him?
I'm sure that's be CGI.
I'm sure that's going to be CGI'd as well. Yeah. Although, what's his face, who plays every alien, played him in the first time around.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne did the voice.
Yes. That was my favorite part about that. It's like, okay, so we're gonna get. Damn it, I'm blanking on his name right now. He's in Star Trek Discovery also.
Never watched it.
I'll look it up. But he's been in all these things and like, okay,
he's Abe Sapien. He's Pan.
Exactly.
He's Guillermo del Toro's muse. Doug Jones.
And it's not like
Fishman.
And it's not like Doug Jones doesn't know how to act, because he does, and he's really good at it, and he's got a very distinctive voice. We're gonna have Lawrence Fishburne be the voice of Silver Surfer. Why? Well, we just felt like it.
Doug Jones has a calm-sounding voice. It's not like he talks like this.
Well, that would be...
He's not like Gilbert Gottfried,
That would have been amazing.
That wasn't my Gilbert Gottfried impression. I'm just saying, tall guy, skinny guy, you expect him to maybe have a squeaky voice. And
Gilbert Gottfried, rest in peace.
Interesting voice.
He would have been fantastic as Silver Surfer. There we go. Galactus is coming. He's almost here.
No, I don't think you're doing Gilbert. I think you're doing your Jewish grandfather.
It's one step away, though.
It is very close.
One step away.
I assume it is.
Whether you like it or not. Gen V was great. I can't wait for the boys to come back either. Have you watched Invincible?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I've read all of Invincible.
Good for you.
I've read all of Invincible.
Good for you.
COVID for the first time before my birthday. I was locked up for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I don't want to sit on my ass and watch a bunch of TV. I'm going to read some books.
That was a digital copy.
No, I went upstairs. I had the 3 compendiums.
Oh, okay.
I brought them down.
Wow.
In the middle of the night.
Those are hefty tomes, man.
Hefty tomes.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's when I realized, I'm not going to be an omnibus dude because they were bitches.
I much prefer the Ultimate Collections. I own them in Ultimate Collections. That's just 12 issues a piece. Nice oversized hardcovers. That's the way to do it. That's the way to read it.
But then I gotta buy them again, so I think I'm done.
I know.
think I'm done. I've read them once.
You've read them once. You don't need to read them again.
I might read them again. They were really good.
That's true. But the series is great.
The series is great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It just sucks that it's coming out as slow as it is. I mean, I understand why.
I literally spent the 2 weeks after episode 4 going to Amazon and being like, where's my new episode of Invincible? Not remembering that they split it in 2 parts like assholes.
But that's also part of the caveat of it being, hour plus episodes each time around. Like you're not just getting 20 minutes and then nothing. You're getting that, which is nice. But I agree with you. I want more Invincible. Give me more Invincible.
I think since there is no movies coming out for 3 months till Dune Part 2.
Well,
they could have put it out in January all at once.
There's every single movie that's going to be nominated for an Academy Award is coming out now because it's right around now.
Good.
Oh my God.
Who wants to see that? Oh, you want to go watch Saltburn and watch some dude lick another person's jizz off the floor? Go ahead, put that out on the CGS feed. You want to go watch that.
That was incredibly awkward. I'll tell you that much.
I didn't see it, but I read about that moment, and I went, not going to watch that movie.
Didn't know about it until I saw it, and oh boy, was that an image that I would never unsee in my lifetime.
Yeah, and you want that guy to be the Joker? Is that the dude doing it?
Why not?
I guess. He does some sick stuff. He might be into the Joker.
He's actually a fantastic actor.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, I saw him in Eternals. He was fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Did you forget he was in Eternals?
Yes, and I like the Eternals. I actually like the Eternals.
I can't remember where that guy's coming out of the Earth in the MCU, but I hope it's right outside South Africa, you can see it from the cliffside. on Cape Town.
One of the many things that has never been brought up again in the Marvel Universe. Like, isn't there like half an eternal? Like,
there's a hand and half of a head.
Yeah,
and
just like in the clouds somewhere, just hanging out.
No, it's coming out of the ocean.
Oh my god!
Piercing through the clouds, something.
So bad.
The fact that you couldn't see it from space in the Marvels is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we had so many shots of the Earth.
They should have just did the Sleeping Celestial in San Francisco. Like, if they were going to do anything like that would have at least been something that they could avoid referencing on a regular basis.
The Sleeping Celestial in San Francisco was much smaller than the guy coming out in the Eternals.
I know. They just chose that. And mind you, like, there's supposedly going to be an Eternals sequel eventually.
No, there
supposedly.
Won't. No, there won't be.
They keep talking about it.
Yeah, and Chloe Zhao's got another movie coming out. No, she doesn't.
Good for her.
No, I'm just saying. No, she doesn't.
She was nominated for actually.
And where's she been?
I mean, somewhere.
Eternals came out in 2021.
Vacation.
My first trip to Japan in COVID. That's how long ago it was. I remember it distinctly.
Let's see if she's working on anything else right now. Let's see. Chloe Zhao. Yeah, that movie was not the movie that anybody actually wanted. That's the problem. Apparently, she's doing Diablo 4.
Yeah, exactly. She's not working on anything.
Wow. Okay. Special. That's special.
Okay, so here's a movie I did want.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Did you see Blue Beetle?
I saw Blue Beetle. I enjoyed it a lot.
I thought it was great.
I think Blue Beetle might actually be my favorite in all of the DCU. You could easily have Blue Beetle just be in James Gunn's DC universe without any problems. I like the design for the city that they created for that too.
That Palmyra City. Yeah. I don't know what came first, if it was in the movie, but it was in Blue Beetle Graduation Day as the new place. Although I didn't read all of the New 52 Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Or not New 52, the DC Rebirth, because I didn't like the Scott Collins, Keith Giffen stuff.
Got it.
I don't mind Scott Collins, but he really shanked his art style, I think, to me, and messed up Blue Beetle. He made him look different.
Okay.
So I don't know if Palmyra City was in that, but that's when Blue Beetle was being mentored by Ted Cord, who was alive after Forever Evil.
Yeah,
he got shanked in the first issue.
He got better.
Who knows?
Yeah, he got better. That's it.
So yeah, I don't know if it's from that, but I know for sure the first time that I read it was in the Graduation Day miniseries, which came out last year.
Okay.
Before the movie did, but I'm assuming they probably were like, "Hey, we're developing a city for the
around
movie.
the same time.
You should probably put it in the comic book." But now in the main Blue Beetle series, it's still in that city, which is like this modified version of Miami, I guess.
Yeah. With a little bit of Puerto Rico in there,
with some Puerto Rican keys or Mexican keys.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's in Miami, outside Corpus Christi, Texas.
Thereabouts.
Because they have a lot of Mexicans living on islands.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, where would that be?
And mind you, they filmed scenes in that directly in San Juan, because the fort scenes, those are all in one of the main forts in San Juan. So, I know, because I was literally, there, a week before I saw it in theaters, and I'm like, oh, okay, how about
familiar.
That? Yeah, right? No, I liked a lot about that movie. I appreciated his family and how they incorporated that. I actually really liked the interaction between the suit and Jaime. The special effects were actually really decent.
My one complaint is that when they cut his mask in half, so you could see the actor's face going through all the emotional trauma at the end, a la Spider-Man 1 and 2 and Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Is that his real eye did not match up with his mask. Literally, there's a disparity. It's like there's a yellow eye above his other. It was off by about 3/4 of an eye.
I mean, maybe.
And I'm like, how are you looking through these yellow lenses, Jaime?
Maybe his face got that messed up in the fight, where that part of his face is a little bit further up.
What you didn't see was that half of his face got lowered.
Yes, exactly. It got reattached by the suit once we were all said and done. But
the suit actually injects his eyes with a needle to look through the other lenses like a periscope.
Yeah.
Just inside the mask. That's what we're going with.
Did you like the changes to the Cord family in that, or
give a fuck? It's fine.
All right,
go for it.
Yeah, I didn't love the villain.
Booster Gold references. I'm fine.
Yeah, I didn't love the villain, but I also didn't hate the villain. I also
Carapax was a thing until that movie.
Yeah, no, Carapax wasn't Carapax introduced in early Blue Beetle days?
He is I had to look it up.
Yeah,
he is a Ted Cord villain.
Okay.
From, I think, the Charlton days.
Got it.
And I think briefly made 1 or 2 appearances since then, and then also in either New 52 or the Rebirth era once.
Okay.
So it's almost like they pulled El Diablo out of thin air.
Basically.
To say, we're going to make an El Diablo movie when he'd been in one comic book. It's not kind of the same thing with Carapax. He's been in 4 comic books.
This just in, that El Diablo movie is not happening.
Thank God.
I am not surprised.
Thank God.
Yeah. I think that those are more the type of movies that DC has to make. Blue Beetle, and which sucks that it didn't do better, but it also probably did better than it would have had it just been on Max.
See, I would support your strike argument about Blue Beetle not doing very well.
Yes.
But I, at the same time, don't support it for the Marvels, because I think
it's fair.
There are a lot of people that didn't actively boycotted the Marvels that don't boycott other stuff.
There's people that actively boycotted Blue Beetle because it didn't have Zack Snyder in it.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But, those other internet assholes.
Yes.
Not us.
Oh, man. I hope we get more of the character. That's it. And plus, I like the actor in general. I've loved him on Cobra Kai before this. And now he actually gets a chance to be in a movie.
Woo-hoo.
Good for him. What else did we have to talk about? What else?
Donovan has a running list on the chat of what he wants to talk about that we're going to cover today.
Oh yeah, no.
Sorry, Dono.
No, we'll definitely get a full episode in the new year shortly thereafter. One way or the other, we've got a lot of other shit to catch up on.
You need to talk about how you've seen all the members this year.
That is true. Yeah. No. So
let's go down the list.
Yeah. Jamal and Raph first I saw at the AEW event that we went to. And then I've seen Jamal other times after that, New York Comic Con and all that jazz. Donovan at New York Comic Con, Chris, whenever I saw Chris, and Brandon at PAX Unplugged. So, and now Brent
in a calendar year.
In a calendar year, yeah.
I was going to say I did it in 13 months because of my trip to New York last December.
That is true.
Where I got to see Jamal and Raph in person.
Yep.
I'd seen Raph before. I'd seen Jamal before.
It was good brunch.
Yep. Met Jamal's wife, and then I had the trip to Tennessee in January of this year.
Where you saw Donovan.
Where I saw Dono.
Yep.
So the only person I have not seen in the crew in the last 13 months would be Brandon.
Yes. I'm
missing one off my CT tour scratch card.
If you somehow manage to make it to Philadelphia,
somehow nobody manages to make it to MegaCon anymore.
Okay. Here's the thing. New York Comic Con.
It's in February now.
I know. New York Comic Con. The thing about New York Comic Con is that it's right there.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, and I don't have to go far for it.
I know. I'm talking shit about other people.
Oh, I know. But MegaCon's not a bad con. It's enjoyable. Which part of the convention center?
They've been flip flopping the last couple of years, but the last 2 years has been the old convention center.
Okay, so the one that was at the first time I ever went.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah, they've been doing it in the old one. I think because the old one, I think it has bigger theaters.
Okay.
Like for their panels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's got more, just in general.
Do they still try to do the combo anime comic scene?
Oh yeah. Okay. It's still a combo con.
Got it.
For sure.
Okay. All right. And a buyer con at all? Are there
It's mostly that.
All right.
Artist Alley's still very large.
Yeah.
I would say probably the same size. It's still on the main con floor. It's not a sidelined or into a separate room.
You still get an autograph from Lou Ferrigno if you try hard enough?
Yeah, the old autograph was like a segmented, just a curtain, and you just walk around. Now it's half the con.
Oh, okay.
It's this same standard thing where it's like an elevated table, and they can look down on you, you little peon paying your $50 for my autograph. Ha ha, loser. With the big banners behind it. So that's like the back half of the con is all the autograph stuff.
Okay.
And they kind of it's main TV and movie celebs, and then they'll have the anime celebs kind of opposite them.
Got it.
Or voice actors or whatever. They'll have that. And then they still haven't figured out the comic artist thing, because comic artists still have long lines. Like Capullo shows up, Tom King shows up.
Right.
It's long line.
Yeah.
For an autograph. So they're kind of still working on that.
Okay.
Some guys are still there all the time.
Others aren't. Anybody who wants to, vacation in Florida,
Yeah. It's in February, which honestly is not terrible.
No, that's not bad at all.
It's hit or miss. It could be cold.
Yeah.
It could be warm, but you will not have snow.
Okay.
Guaranteed. And when I'm talking about cold, I'm talking about 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I've been here in late January. and it was nice. You know, it was relatively. I mean, it was around the temperature that it is right now. Like, you know, somewhere in like the 60s or 70s.
My problem this year is that Comic-Con is on not Comic-Con, MegaCon is on the same weekend as the Orlando Whiskey Festival and a Seven Dust concert, and I can't do all three.
So here's what
I have to figure out what I really want to do.
Clearly, the answer is MegaCon over both of those.
I will probably do one day at MegaCon. The answer is, do I have to take my kids?
Whiskey Festival. That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's a Brent got really fucking drunk fest last year.
Oh
awesome.
My god. Yeah. No. I don't think I've ever done a whiskey fest. I've done
$50. You got a little Glencairn. It was engraved. It's all cute.
Nice.
And you get unlimited pours of all the things you can't buy in stores.
Well, I think I was telling you that I'll be at a beer fest at Liberty Science Center in I think early February, which is pretty similar.
Same
to that.
idea.
Yep. And I will not be at MegaCon. I'm taking a vacation to Mexico City in February. That's the one vacation that I'm taking.
I'll be in Jamaica the week prior to MegaCon.
Ooh, Jamaica. Nice.
Jamaica.
With the kids?
Without the kids.
Good for you. Good for you.
Lots of vacations in 2024 because we didn't do any in 2023.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, enjoy your kidless Jamaican time with as much rum as you can probably drink.
That's the plan.
That is indeed the plan. I think we've run out of things to say.
I think we have.
I think that's good. I think it's time to go drink.
Let's do it.
Let's go do that. Thank you all for sticking with us for 2023. As this is probably either coming out at the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024. Happy New Year. Hope you all enjoyed your holiday season, for that matter, and we'll be back sometime in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, with a full crew episode, where they then get to catch up with all the shit that we talked about on this episode, and it'll all merge nicely and conveniently.
We'll call it the Comic Timing Rehash.
Exactly. I like a good hash. Good corned beef hash.
Sirens, what are we calling this one? Sirens and what? No, is it hard corn?
No, hard corn.
Corn and sweat?
Cornsweat. Cornsweat, exactly.
Cornsweat.
Cornsweat. Cornsweat, cars, and trains, oh my. That is the episode right there. Boom.
Sirens and corns and trains, oh my.
Well, the email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. You can check us out over at the Comic Geek Street Supergroup. That's probably the easiest place on Facebook to find us, so go ahead and check that out. But Casina B still on Twitter, which is still called Twitter, and I_am_sci-fi on there. Plus, I'm on Threads and Blue Sky, like anywhere you can find me. Instagram, I'm all those different places. If the Comics Podcast Network still existed, we'd be a proud member, but not really. And as always, there's always time for comics.
The end.
The end. Boom. Oh, Popo. Hold on.
Here's another siren we're gonna leave in.
Yeah, there you go. No!
Yes!
No!
You can't stop me.
No! Siren's not in. Oh,
like doing a loop.
Oh boy.
He's doing a loop, and
Eddie's gone.
The second car. There's a second car.
Oh my god.
Auburndale has 2 police cars.
Oh my god. Wow.
2 police cars.
They have 2 police cars, and we just saw them both. Wow. Something.
If my wife decides to go to bed early, you can't stop me from just putting this episode out as is.
No!
It'll go out on the Comic Time feed. I don't have any access to the CGS feeds there.
Which means, yeah, exactly. I will download a copy of it, and I will manually go in, re-edit it, re-upload it to the Comic Timing site.
This will be the Casinoverse version on the CT feed.
Yes. This will be this will be the Casino
CT feed exclusive
the
version.
Casino cut. The Casino cut. Oh my god.
With siren commentary left in. See, now that we've talked through it, you can't cut it out. No, all the autograph stuff a long time ago. That's not a car. That is a car. That's a truck.
That is a car.
Without a muffler.
Yeah.
Not a siren, not a train.
Jeez.
We need to have someone next year should create a CT Live bingo. Shit.
Oh, train, bingo.
Train, siren.
Oh my god.
Muffler.
Yeah, right.
Now we're gonna have gunshots.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, let's not and say we did, please. I know I'm in Florida, but please, by all means.